So Taylor gets the shotgun set, gives it to Jack. Here he goes. He's got blockers out in front.
There he goes.
Jack is running the midfield.
And he
Listen to
crosses
this crowd.
midfield. He's crossed the 40,
As Jack
and the 30, the 25, the 20, the 15, the 10.
As I mentioned,
Hoffman's
he's really
across
been
the 5.
adopted by this football
Hoffman
team this
scoring
quarter
for the
time.
red team.
Oh, wow. What a moment.
Well, doggone it, get her done. Doggone. What are the odds I'd say that when I come out here? You would never expect that, would you?
Thank you so much on behalf of everybody here at the Radiothon for doing what you do year after year after year. Thank you for helping us today in doing a little bit of our part here on the Team Jack Radiothon.
At this time, I'd like to invite to the stage Jim and Sherry Baldonado. Their family been very supportive. Come on up, you guys. Of Team Jack.
So I'm honored to present a check in Nathan's honor to the Team Jack Foundation for $50,000.
There you go.
Oh, he's just a ornery, fun kid.
Is this thing on?
Loves those prank jokes and all that.
Wow.
Football was his thing. He did midget football. We loved watching him play football.
I started way back in 6th grade. I was put on the Chargers, and the 1 year I was there, we won the championship. Yeah. High five. I woke up one Monday morning and I asked my mom if I could stay home because I have a headache.
Nicholas had started having headaches, and we started getting concerned even more so because he started throwing up.
I was throwing up nonstop.
And then shortly after, the ER doctor came into the room and he asked us to have a seat, and he said that your son has a mass on his brain the size of an orange, and we are sending you by ambulance to Omaha. They did the surgery. You know, that was hard to walk away from him and knowing what they were going to be doing.
Yeah, they said they cut the top layer, peeled my forehead down, and got it going.
Then when the neurosurgeon came out to get us, he took us into this little room and said, you know, when we got in there, it looked more aggressive than we originally thought, and we need to wait for pathology.
I felt great. A million times better, I can tell you that much.
We went home that Thursday. Nick was doing great. He said he felt amazing, no more headaches. He wouldn't known anything even happened.
Yeah.
It was a Thursday, the February 12th. He called and said, you know, that Nick was diagnosed with grade 4 glioblastoma, which is a very aggressive brain cancer that has a high reoccurrence rate, and that there currently is no cure for. That he would need him to start radiation and chemo immediately. And he lined us up with Dr. Abramowitz here at Children's Hospital. We were scheduled to come back in October for a routine MRI, and we had noticed a few little things that we were questioning with his speech. He would kind of fumble some of his words.
I just wasn't feeling right. And I don't know how to explain it.
So we were a little worried going into this next MRI, and then a week later they called and said that it is tumor regrowth. Because of where it was located, Dr. Abramowitz told us that Nicholas wouldn't survive. So that was hard. But he did.
Nick is actually an awesome kid, and he was always fun to be with. So we always joked around quite a bit. He has been through several things, and his family has been his stronghold. But it takes a village. My grandmother once told me, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to cure a child. So we all are in this together.
And that was hard for Nick. He had a hard time with this surgery.
A lot more sluggish coming out of it and
Yeah.
coherent and stuff.
Dr. Abramowitz was concerned because he wasn't answering questions right. They asked him at one point, Nick, do you have any brothers or sisters? He said no. And he clearly has a sister. But that was horrifying for me to see the look in his eyes when you're asking him a question and he's just looking at you like, I don't understand. But he, the way he describes it, he says, Mom, I knew the question, but I couldn't get it to come out. I just couldn't get it to come out. So that scared me. So I just kept praying, you want your kid to survive the surgery to begin with, but you want the same kid coming out of that surgery that went in. So, and those are, some of the different possibilities with this type of cancer, We started looking at clinical trials, which is very frustrating because there are very few options for children that are looking at clinical trials for this type of cancer. Everybody would tell us, your son's 16, when he's 18 he will qualify. Well, we don't have time for that.
One size fits all doesn't fit your head very well, does it?
Today we were doing the EEG to see if he needed to continue
Seizure
medicine.
It kind of monitors it, and we needed to get that test done today also. So between the MRI and that and a regular clinical visit, that's kind of what we're back up here for today.
This is what it's all about right here.
Yeah.
Family, friends, co-workers, employees, everything. We treat every kid here like they're ours, and if I meet you, you're mine.
Yeah.
That's it.
We could tell.
So he
right
may
now.
not be black, and he may not have French braids, and he may not eat my spaghetti or my fried chicken. He's mine. Team Nick! Woo! That's enough.
He's an awesome, awesome kid. Has the most positive attitude about everything in life, and makes all of us here feel very special when he comes to visit. How are you, my friend?
Great.
You're great? Awesome. I like that. Having that support in research dollars is so important to make sure that those things that are coming up the pike become reality so that we can make the lives of these kids affected by childhood cancer and by childhood brain tumors much more positive.
One of the worst things with this diagnosis, I think, was seeing my dad cry. Because that is one thing you never can forget. Because that's the guy who, he's the man.
Nicholas has never once complained about this entire situation. He's more concerned about us than he's concerned about himself. When he saw how hard we were taking this, it's like he would go out of his way to make us laugh. Yeah, he's never once complained, he's never once cried, he's never once said, why me? And it has definitely strengthened his faith in God, and yeah, he's been amazing through this whole thing.
I don't know if I'd be able to handle that if my kid was put through that, because one thing I think about is how hard it had to be for them. Because knowing that your kid has cancer, I don't know what it feels like. I just know what it's like to have cancer.
They have this book that they had at all the tables at the last gala, and it had all the kids' pictures. On one side it says, our fighters, and one side are our angels, and it had pictures of the kids who have passed. And the one thing that I always think about when I look at that book is how real the possibility is that our son's picture could be moved from the fighter page to the angel page. That just scares us half to death. But it's good we are trying to educate people. I don't think people are aware that how little funding there is for pediatric brain cancer, let alone all childhood cancers. 4%.
4%. I think we're worth more than that, personally. Because if you really think take $1, we're 4 cents, if that. And I think we're worth more than that.
We had no idea. We had no idea until we became parents of a child with cancer. So I think it's our job to help people to get involved before it can happen to anybody. It can happen to anybody's child. And the sooner we get more research and those cures that we need, the better it's going to be for everybody, because you just never know when you're going to be in our shoes.
Yep.
He's the happiest kid you're ever going to meet. His laugh is 100% contagious. And he's had such a positive attitude. We get a lot of people that question and say, how can you have a smile on your face all the time? And I say, have you met Caleb? Is there anything you want everyone to know about you?
Yeah, brain cancer.
Brain cancer? You had brain cancer, yep. But you beat it, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Brain cancer. Suck.
Huh? Brain cancer sucks. It does suck. Caleb was diagnosed with a GBM brain tumor at the age of 4, 11 years ago. He just started having these episodes where he would wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning and vomit everywhere, screaming that his head hurt. They sedated him. They went and did the MRI, and then we're sitting there kind of waiting for him to wake up, and the nurse and the doctor walk in with tears rolling down their face. And she said, Caleb has a golf ball-sized brain tumor.
Well, I was definitely shocked. I don't remember anything really of that day. It was just kind of a blur.
Honestly, in my mind, I was thinking, well, this has got to be wrong because kids don't get brain tumors. This is an adult thing, you know? My response was, you mean he has cancer? And she said, yeah. He was given 8 weeks to live at that point. He had 7 surgeries that first month, 2 of which were the craniotomies to remove the tumor, 6 weeks of daily radiation treatments, 18 months of chemotherapy. We spent 3 years at Madonna, and he worked hard and learned how to re-talk and walk and eat. And, you know, unfortunately, he's had a couple more strokes, and his legs have really taken a beating from the strokes. Have since had clean scans ever since. Never, the cancer has come back. We've never had a reoccurrence. So, if you don't believe in miracles, there's one sitting right in front of you. You are their miracle. Caleb was diagnosed over 11 years ago now. We are friends with a lot of families around the world. And from what I'm hearing from these people is the treatment hasn't changed. Well, look at what the treatment did. This is all because of that treatment. Something's got to give. 4% isn't enough. I mean, is it enough for your child? No, it's not enough for mine. So there's got to be more we can do. You did the tunnel walk. What? With who? Spencer Long. Who does he play for now? The Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
Hi, Caleb. What's up, everybody?
Didn't know you were going to be here.
Yeah. How you doing, buddy?
Hard to hide him, isn't it?
Hi, Donna. How you doing, bud?
Good.
Good to see you. Do you remember the tunnel walk? Do you remember that? Because I do.
To this day is one of my fondest memories in Nebraska, and I'll never forget it. And I happened to be partnered up with Caleb here, and we had a good time. Give me a high five. Yeah. Caleb, I think we saw when we walked in, he's a big joker. Most of all, Caleb's a heck of a fighter, and I look to Caleb for strength and what he's going through and how he's been able to get through it and his family and stuff like that. So it's been pretty special for me, whether they know it or not, from afar.
We just want to thank everybody that we've met through this journey. This Team Jack family means so much because we're not alone. We're all not alone. Oh, I'm sorry.
Now you did it.
I'm sorry. It's okay. I'm sorry. It's alright. I'm sorry. We want to thank all the players who have put their time and energy into this cause, because it makes a difference for all of the kids. As Caleb mentioned, doing the tunnel walk with Spencer Long, that was, God, 5-6 years ago, and it's the highlight of his life. It's the one thing that he brags about to everybody. So thank you, Spencer, and thank you all of the Husker players who have gotten involved in these kids' lives. It means the world. I'm sorry.
I would describe Nathan as active, energetic, and happy.
When we were little, every weekend, if it was the summertime, we were up at the family cabin. Wintertime, it was wrestling. He was great. He was a great wrestler. He had his eyes set on the prize, and he lived his life like he wasn't sick.
He was 15 years old, and he had been outside playing basketball with the neighbors, and he said, I have this head pain, Mom, and it's kind of like, not like a headache, but it's like a 3 to 5 second like short pain, and then it goes away. I knew there was something that wasn't right. When we got in there, she just looked at me and I could see her lip quivering, and I knew something was really serious. And she said, I'm sad. I hate to tell you, but Nathan has a brain tumor. And the first thing I did is just went right straight to Nathan, and I just hugged him, and like I didn't know what to do. And that's exactly what I said to her. I said, what can we do? And she said, well, it's inoperable. It's actually called a diffused intrinsic pontine glioma, which is in short called DIPG. And the way they told me, if you think of your brain stem and all your nerves run through from your whole body, and think of it in like a ponytail holder that collects up to go to your brain. Well, all these nerves are in here, and that's where that tumor is like glue. Try to have a surgeon take that glue out of there without touching one hair. She told us what Nathan's treatment plan was going to be, and it was to do 6 weeks of radiation and take an oral chemo pill. And I still thought, okay, that's great, we'll just get this done. The radiation shrunk the tumor a little bit, enough to relieve his symptoms, so we just thought life was back to normal. You know, he's going to beat this. But the symptoms came back.
It wasn't fun watching him progress. And what this disease does is exactly that, as it takes everything away.
His feet first were tingly, and I noticed in his fingertips, and by Thanksgiving he was in a wheelchair. And then the hardest part, he started losing his speech. It's just sad because, you know, to slowly watch him, the vibrant child that he was, it just picked away at him, you know, one nerve at a time. And, you know, he didn't deserve that. No one does. sister mentioned to me about Team Jack was started, and it was after this little boy that had been diagnosed with a brain tumor. And I thought, I'm going to connect with Team Jack and see if I can raise funds. And that's how our now annual fundraiser has grown, and I'm very proud of what it's turned into.
We do Neon Night for I can't even say it anymore.
The name of it is called
Neon Night for Nate. We do these bowling benefits. We started Neon Night for Nate, and we started slowly raising money, and we were just baffled by how much was coming in, and it was like 3 digits, and then 4 digits.
This year will be our 9th year.
It was a community coming together, and that was huge.
Last year was our biggest year, and we donated a $10,000 check to them in memory of Nathan. Andy has asked me, why do I stay with this? And I said, because my goal is to take care of this tumor that took my son. I'm not stopping, and, we shouldn't. We need to keep, raising funds.
They're changing the outcome of child's lives for the better.
I did talk to the doctor that now is in Omaha, Dr. Swartz, and the things that he has told me that has changed in the past since Nathan's passed away. I'm so happy. When Nathan had his, they couldn't even take a tiny piece of tissue out to study. They now do that. So that's something that has, come out of our funds, I'm sure, with the donations. So, we're making a difference.
If I had one more day with my brother, he's got a nephew now, which would be great for him to meet his nephew.
Smile! You gotta get that little face on there. Lincoln!
He has a little piece of Nathan, as my oldest son Nick gave him Nathan's middle name Andrew. So my new grandbaby is Lincoln Andrew. So, and he just, brings a bright spot in our life now. And I know Nathan's watching and approving of every little thing he's done.